Am I the asshole here for moving into the house that I inherited, even though the lodger doesn't feel comfortable around men? So I inherited a house that came with a lodger, with a 6-year-old child that is renting one of the rooms. She's upset because I have, in her words, made it terrifying to live here since I've moved in. She doesn't feel safe with her and her daughter living with a man that she just met, and she wants to stay away from men because of issues with her ex. That's why living with an old woman felt so safe. By the way, this is all being communicated through notes that she's been leaving because she avoids me. I've already wrote back that she can move out whenever. She left another note saying that she will, but she really doesn't want to have to because the reason she moved in here was so that her daughter could go to the school district here, and the only way she was able to afford to live here is because her lease is just $150 for utilities and housework, and they might have to move back in with her ex. So basically, she wants me to move out. I don't want to because the house still has a mortgage that I would have to continue to pay in addition to paying for rent somewhere else. There technically is the option to get a female tenant, however the prices for renting a single bedroom won't cover the mortgage and I can't afford to make up the difference. Plus, I'd have to deal with my grandma's things faster than I want to. Another big thing is that I can avoid tax reassessment on the house if I move within a year, which is also why selling is definitely off the table. In the comments, Flounder Kind says, "You own the house. If she doesn't like it, she can move." She's literally a choosing beggar making these statements while living there damn near rent-free. Yeah, I would give her options. 1, you can buy the house for X amount of dollars. 2, we can sign a new lease with the understanding that I will be living here for $300 plus per month. Or 3, you give her a formal notice to vacate. Assuming she doesn't have an active lease, it's month to month. You can be apologetic, but not overly. It sucks that her situation has changed, but that's not your fault. That's life. Dastardly740 says, "Your last sentence made me think of something. It also sucks that OP's grandmother died. The tenant has kind of decided that her sucky situation is more valid than OP's. Besides loss, OP has some financial limitations and evidently needs the rent. I mean, if he gets rid of her, he can get someone to rent for a lot more than $150 a month for 2 people. I'm so sorry about your grandma. Please know that one day you will laugh more than you will cry when you think of her. She left that house to you because she hoped that you'd be blessed by her gift. If you can afford to allow this tenant to break her lease with no penalty, maybe offer that, but I don't think your grandma would want you walking on eggshells and putting this woman and her 6-year-old ahead of your own grieving process during what should be your chance to go through your grandma's things at your own pace. Yours is not the only room in town. She can find another situation. What, are you supposed to leave the place frozen in time until this first grader graduates high school? I'm proud of you for even considering this woman's feelings. But don't let her guilt trip you into debt over what your grandma probably hoped would help you jumpstart some wealth building. You are a beloved grandson, and certainly not the asshole. Yeah, I don't think you're the asshole here for moving into the house. Situations change, life happens, and it's unfortunate what she's going through, but her situation is not more important than yours. You don't owe her anything. She's had a very good run of such an incredibly cheap amount of rent. She can't have her cake and eat it too, though. You now own the house. Again, you don't owe her anything, so I don't think she has any right to be making demands, saying that, you can't live here in your house because my child isn't comfortable around men, neither am I. You just gotta do what's best for you in this situation, OP. Don't let her pressure you into moving out, and if she keeps pushing, you just have to evict her. That's how it goes. Not the asshole. And now, onto the update. I had other stuff going on in my life, so I sort of put off trying to talk to her, and honestly was debating about what to say to her. I guess procrastinating took care of the problem, because I realized yesterday that she had moved out sometime in the last few days. So I guess that's it. In the comments, Martin Isn't Murder says, "Congratulations. I would definitely be changing the locks because she had keys. Enjoy your new home in peace." Totally agree. New place, new keys. Peace of mind is worth the small cost. I do feel bad for the lady and her kid, but at the end of the day, This was not anything that you were obligated to solve or make allowances for her, especially if she couldn't talk to you directly over it. There aren't really any options that allowed her to continue living there without him. He couldn't afford to maintain the house and an apartment, she couldn't afford higher rent. Selling the place, even if he was willing to, would probably still result in her being forced to leave. It definitely sucks for her, but even if he was able to afford moving out, he's entitled to live there more than she is. You love to see a situation resolving itself without any particular conflict, and while I feel bad for her that this is the hand that life has dealt her in this current situation, I trust that she has made the best decision for herself and her daughter, because that did not seem like a tenable living arrangement for either of them. So, thank you for the update, OP. Glad that it worked out for ya. Our next post is by user Velvet, and it's titled, "Am I the asshole here for wanting to leave my wife after she gave birth to my child? My 34 male, wife 32 female, and I have been married for 7 years. After a miscarriage, she admitted to me that she had had multiple affairs over the last 4 years of our marriage. Her last affair ended a year ago. She begged for us to go to therapy to work on our marriage, but I refused to go. During this time, I'd moved out of the house. Occasionally, I would go back to take care of the house and animals, and she would constantly try to manipulate me into coming back. I had every intention of getting a divorce, but the process is slow. I hated the betrayal I felt, but I also missed my wife during the separation. One thing led to another, and we had sex, and she got pregnant again. Shortly after the news came, I had to leave for work, about 12 hours away from her. She would call me to give me updates about the pregnancy and talk about our marriage. We were separated for the majority of her pregnancy. I told her that I still wanted a divorce, but I would consider reconciling after the baby was born. After several months away from her, I came to the realization that I could not trust her, nor could I forgive her for her infidelity. I feel like the last 7 years of my life has been a lie. While I was away from her, I met someone, and a relationship blossomed between us. I truly feel like I love this woman. She's been made aware that I'm still married and that I have a baby on the way. My wife is not aware of my new girlfriend." Oh, this is so messy. Oh my god, make better decisions, please. Fast forward to a month ago. I had to go home for the birth of our baby boy. My wife has been pressuring me to reconcile, but I told her that I plan to divorce her again. After the birth of our baby boy, she's been blaming me for ruining our family because I don't want to stay with her and try to fix our marriage. Oh, the audacity! I want to have a co-parenting relationship with my wife, but she's acting very erratic while I'm here for our son. Am I the asshole for wanting to leave my wife? Any advice on how to deal with this is appreciated. In the comments, info, are you sure the baby's yours? OP says, baby is mine. Get a paternity test to ensure. See a lawyer. Take your time with someone who is involved with a married man expecting a baby and is okay with it. Everyone sucks here. Your wife sucks on you for cheating on you repeatedly over 4 years. That's a serious betrayal, and it's understandable that you'd feel like the entire marriage was a lie. But you're not innocent in this either. You were emotionally and physically indecisive for months, which gave her mixed signals. You told her that you wanted a divorce, but you kept showing up, had unprotected sex resulting in a baby, and continued entertaining her hopes of reconciliation, even while emotionally checking out. You even said that you consider reconciling after the baby was born. That's a huge breadcrumb to someone already trying to save a relationship. Then, instead of clarifying things, you started a new relationship while still married, didn't tell your wife about it, and are still hiding it from her now that the baby is born. That's not just messy, it's dishonest. You're fully within your rights to leave the marriage. Infidelity is a deal breaker for many, but your execution has been cowardly and passive. You didn't set clear boundaries, didn't communicate with honesty, and avoided taking firm action when it mattered most. And now you're reaping the chaos that comes from that. My advice? Divorce her now. No more delays, no more maybes. Tell her about your new relationship, not to rub it in, but because she deserves clarity. She's parenting with you and should understand the new dynamic. Lawyer up and establish formal custody and support agreements. Don't leave this up to emotional negotiations. Stop playing emotional games with her and yourself. You're not the victim anymore. You're a participant in this mess. Get therapy. Not for reconciliation, but for you. To process the betrayal, learn better communication boundaries, and avoid repeating this kind of mess in the future. You're not the asshole for wanting to leave, but you're the asshole for how you handled it. Yeah, the more the story went on, and the more that he didn't actually detach himself from it, I'm like, man, it's getting hard to defend you on this one, because you're trying to have your cake and eat it too. Because the logical thing to do would have been, after finding out that she'd been cheating on you for 4 years, to just get the hell out of Dodge. Why wouldn't you just leave? Your wife has been cheating on you with multiple different people for the last 4 years, and only wrapped up the last one, like, not too long ago by the sounds of it. Brother, I don't want to victim blame, but what is wrong with you? Where is your spine? Please God, why did you stay with her? Why did you have sex with her again? Bro! She's obviously a piece of shit. This is why you just leave, so that she can be the ultimate piece of shit that has betrayed you, that has destroyed the sanctity of your marriage, and you get to start again, fresh and clean, away from that mess. But no, you had to go put your dick back in it, for reasons unknown to me. I think because of everything that happened after the fact, and that you kept everyone in limbo, you did lie to her, yes. She deserved to be lied to, I agree with you there, but you kept her holding on to hope that you could fix things while lying to her face. Yes, she deserved that. She deserved to be hurt in the way that she hurt you, but why did you have to do all that? Because the way that it dragged on so much, and it's gotten to this point, does make me empathize with the "everyone sucks here" commenters, to be like, this was way messier than it needed to be, you should have known better. I'm guessing you do know better, but you chose not to do better, so that makes you an asshole. Everyone sucks here, but her much more so than you. And now, on to the update. Thank you to all of those who do not think I was the asshole here. It's been a tough 2 years. Here's how it went down. I took a paternity test, and my son is confirmed to be mine. I have filed for divorce, but the state in which I lived in is very conservative and has a waiting period before it can be finalized. The divorce was filed as uncontested, and I will be paying child support while also staying in his life. I'm selling our house, and she's moving to a state close by where my son will only be a couple of hours away. This option also makes her closer to family. Custody arrangements will be updated once she is moved. This has been hard emotionally because she's blamed me for ruining our chances as a family and our son's future. It feels manipulative since I no longer want to be with her and I've taken care of her for our entire marriage. My wife still does not know about my girlfriend at the request of my girlfriend. As much as I want to integrate my girlfriend, this will take time to do, and I also felt like my wife doesn't have to know about her until everything is settled and the divorce is finalized. It's been difficult for me being away from my son, but I do get to see him every day. I was there for his birth and 3 weeks afterwards. I will be taking leave again to spend more time with my son, taking care of the house, the divorce, and to help get her and my son moved. I'm glad this marriage is ending, and while it's tough right now with my son, the mutual goal is to have a co-parenting relationship. Despite the things my wife has said and her wanting to continue the marriage, I feel my son will be better off knowing what an actual loving relationship is. My girlfriend has been very supportive of me, and I'm ready to move on in my life with her. Trying to get any help or legal advice in the state we got married has been a nightmare and has been overall negative to the choice that I've already made. The marriage is dead, but I will be in my son's life. I do not agree with the empty values there. Any advice on how to ensure a healthy co-parenting relationship without a lawyer is needed. Thank you all again. Without a lawyer is crazy, dog. What is wrong with you? In the comments, Tsunami Surfer says, "Not the asshole, but you really should not have slept with your wife that last time without protection. This made everything much more complicated by giving her leverage." Why would you have a child knowing she was an asshole and that you weren't sure that you were fitting back together? Poor child. And now he wants to integrate his new girlfriend? which I can only guess means bring her in as a third parent. These people have no business making a child. And now, onto the latest update. My wife was served with divorce papers and hired a lawyer despite us agreeing on the 50-50 division of marital assets, child support, and limited alimony. She told me that because I was leaving her, she wanted to make sure that things were done fairly. She advised me to not get my own lawyer since we already agreed on stuff, but I got one to represent me anyway. Jesus, you are so messy. That's so funny that she's like, you know what? Don't get a lawyer. Don't protect yourself. You guys are quite something. I recently have seen my son again, despite her efforts to keep him away from me. Or me away from him. Oh my God. This is the gift that keeps giving. She has told me that she doesn't want to see me. After expressing how unfair that is that she agreed to coordinate with me to see him. I told her that I've been seeing someone, and she said that she suspected it during our separation, but that it didn't matter. She doesn't care that I love my new partner. She believes that we can still recover the marriage, even though I've moved on. Please, keep your delusions together in holy matrimony, you guys. I believe in you. I don't understand how she thinks this after her cheating throughout our marriage and me finding someone new. I told her that I'm upset that she can't take accountability for the breakdown of the marriage, hurting me and our son. I explained to her why it wouldn't be a good idea to stay together if she truly thinks I cheated on her. She's only concerned with herself and the life that I provided to her instead of caring about our son. She destroyed the last 7 years of my life with her and distorted how I saw myself. I tried to get over her infidelity the first time, thinking it was a mistake and something we could work through. I'm not willing to give her a third or fourth chance. I want to resolve this, but every time the issue comes up, she says something that feels manipulative. I will post a final update when we get there. Which, obviously we're not there yet, so we don't have that final update. In the comments, Peace-Loving Sister says, "The only thing you and your soon-to-be ex-wife should be discussing is the care of your son. By engaging her, you are setting yourself up to be manipulated and trapped just as you were trapped by the pregnancy. Sorry to have to say this, but you were really stupid to get yourself into that position. Ever heard of condoms? You knew this woman had been with other men, yet you had unprotected sex with her. That was stupid, so you are not without blame for those 7 years, and in fact, all the rest of your child's life. The fact that you would even ask whether you're the asshole for wanting to leave reveals your very real problem with logic and common sense." Casually Yash says, "I could honestly understand how she could manipulate you into discussing other things with you, but I'm still not trusting you fully on this, as you were stupid enough to make a baby with her after knowing that she cheated. Well, now that lawyers are involved, I think you should ask your lawyer to communicate with her for you, with the pretext that it will be easier in your divorce so that she won't have a problem with this. I would suggest you not to help her move, as it can very well be used against you in court if she plans to make a false case against you. And it would set up a wrong example for the future where she will always expect you to help with her move." My Dirty Alt says, "She cheats repeatedly, gets a lawyer, and then says that you shouldn't get one. That is hilarious. Good luck, man. That poor child." Which is why I have no idea how this asshole is getting so many not the assholes. It's definitely an everyone sucks here situation, and he takes zero responsibility for his part, whilst constantly stamping his foot and pouting about his ex not taking any accountability. What a couple of prizes. Poor kid. I like how in the first update he thanks the people that voted not the asshole. He clearly doesn't think he has any responsibility for this situation. Exactly this. Honestly, it's a shame they broke up, and now more people have to suffer their narcissism and stupidity. The lack of accountability on behalf of the soon-to-be ex-wife for any role that she played in the dissolution of the marriage is utterly laughable. The comment which raked OP across the coals for the way that he went on about ending things? I more or less agree. I can't help but hold him in a bit of contempt. One thing didn't lead to another. Opie wanted to use and hurt his wife in a way similar to how she made himself feel hurt and used during their marriage. I'm not even getting started on that new girlfriend he found, who seems entirely too okay with this whole sordid scenario. I feel for that poor child though. The baby seems to be the only person in this story who doesn't deserve to be involved in all of this messiness. And I'm here for it. I'm loving every second of it. What an absolute shit show that story was. And I can't wait for that final update because it can only get worse from here. And I agree, that wife really did not take any accountability for it. She doesn't even seem sorry that she cheated on him for so many years and potentially was having another man's baby. She doesn't even address that. She's like, we both did wrong here. How about we just forget all that happened and just get back to the delusionally ever after that we set up in the first place? It's giving Norbit. I watched Norbit the other night, and Rasputia was just cheating on Norbit to his face. And then Rasputia hit him with the, I'm with child, I'm pregnant. And he's like, I'm coming straight back to you, baby. Let's raise this child together. I think the wife took a page out of Norbit's book and just hit him with that strategy. But it didn't work, That's a lesson for life, guys. Things don't always work out the way you plan them, especially if you copy how the movies do it. Also, out of all of this, I'd love to know what OP's new girlfriend has to say about this whole situation. Something's got to be wrong with her to be cool with all of this. I agree with those comments as well. How the hell is she sticking by him this whole time, seeing all of this messiness? She has got to be loving this. She's got to be living for it. Which, oh my god, there's got to be some screws loose with her as well. No normal person can survive a situation like this, I swear to God. And once again, I will say, if this is love, keep this love the hell away from me. Maybe they should form a throuple that protects the rest of the world from their craziness. I'm so serious right now. Thank you for the story, OP. Keep up your little delusions. I'm waiting with bated breath for more story from you. Our next post is by user ThrowRA Infected Mars, and it's titled, I, 38 male, found out my wife, 36 female, cheated in the beginning of our relationship. My wife and I have been together since 2010, married in 2016. We both work full-time and don't have kids. We've been trying for a while without success, though recent events left me wondering if I really want this with her. We met when we both got into university. Me in 2007, her in 2008. We were friends before we got together. At the end of 2009 and the start of 2010, she was going through a bad time in her relationship, and I ended up supporting her with a mutual friend of ours. She broke up with her ex, and a few months later, one thing led to another, and we ended up kissing, which led to me inviting her on a date, and the rest just happened. We were officially together in 2010, and I couldn't be happier. Our marriage and relationship in general were always pretty good. We've always communicated well, and I never had a reason to suspect my wife was cheating. Last Saturday, there was a barbecue in her brother's house. I got inside to get some stuff in the kitchen. While I was looking inside the fridge, I overheard my wife talking to her sister in the other room. I wasn't trying to snoop on them at first. I really don't do this kind of thing. But then I heard something like, OP can never know about this. Well, of course, that was my cue to actually snoop. I hid and listened to their talking. Apparently her sister almost cheated on her boyfriend and was feeling guilty, and my wife told her about the same time that she slept with a guy who was a lab assistant with her at the university after we started dating in 2010. We were exclusive, see edit 2. In her own words, she said, I wasn't sure things with OP would work out at the time, and I just allowed myself to do it. I felt guilty once I saw how much he loved me and treated me well, and I could see a future with him. Then her sister started asking if something else happened later in the relationship, and my wife was like, no, it was just that one time and I wish I could forget about it. I haven't talked to her about this yet. I'm not even sure how to approach her. I feel incredibly hurt, and I know confronting her right now may just worsen things. Again, I never had reasons to suspect that she cheated, but she hid this from me all these years, and now that I just found out, it feels like she just cheated on me. I'm really broken. She noticed that I'm not myself these past few days, and I dismissed it by saying that it's just stress. but she knows me and she will keep trying to get an answer. I don't know what to do. Should I just try and forget what I heard? I don't know if I should talk to her right now or process it in therapy first. In the comments, Snoo Recipes says, "The betrayal just happened to you. No matter how much time has passed for her, you can't bury it as it will come out in many different unhealthy ways. If you want to keep growing together and be healthy, happy, and have a safe, supportive relationship, she has to own it and work towards regaining your trust." His partner is still thinking about it and still hiding it from him. The only thing you will always remember are the things you wish you couldn't. Also, one thought. Until you get your head and your heart sorted on this, you may want to hold off on trying for a child. If this proves to ultimately be a deal breaker, that's only going to highly complicate everything. OP says, "No worries. No way I'm even getting hard with all of this going on." Boss. A man that only thinks with one head. I hear you, man, and I feel for you. Sometimes shit just sucks. Please try and keep yourself good, exercise, eat right, get outside. You know, all that stuff that keeps our mind and bodies right. Back up to the post, there's an edit. I decided that I'll talk to her, but not right now. I'm still very upset, and I don't want this to turn into a shouting match. I want it to be a conversation, not a fight. I have a therapy session today, and I'll speak to my therapist about it. Hopefully, it'll help me start this conversation with my wife. Had I known she cheated at the time, I would have broken up with her. I understand everyone saying just leave, but this is the person that I built my life with, the person who supported me in so many ways and helped me grow as a person and a professional. Before I make any harsh decisions, I want to hear what she has to say about this, and then I'll decide for myself what will be the way forward. No, I don't believe she cheated on me any other time than this. She never gave me any reasons to think she did. I've always had access to her phone, she was never secretive of anything, and we spend most of our free time together. But how she will answer when I talk to her about it will surely either confirm this or change it completely. Edit 2, I talked to my therapist. It helped me a lot. My head is in a much better place now, and I will talk to my wife tonight. My decision on what my next steps will be based on the way that she reacts and responds to me. Also, people are assuming that we weren't exclusive when the cheating happened. We were. Words were lost in translation as "after we started dating" literally means something in French, in my mother tongue. And this is something we say in my country only when couples are exclusive, which was our case. We did have a phase of friends with benefits when we were both seeing other people, but we knew about it. I still count it as cheating, and no one should diminish your feelings on the fact that this happened so long ago. You're only just finding out about it now, and she never intended for you to learn about this in the first place. That is just out and out infidelity. You deserve to handle this in whatever way you see fit. If you still see a future with your wife, go for it. But I wouldn't blame you for breaking up with her over this one. It's absolute shit to have to deal with something like this, and my heart goes out to you. You didn't deserve that. She should have been honest with you from the jump and let you decide at that time whether you still stay with her after she slept with someone, but she chose not to do that, and the consequences of those actions are hers to bear. That'll be entirely her fault and not yours at all. You're not a bad person if you choose to walk away, but I respect you if you choose to remain and work through this. And now, onto the update. I received a lot of good feedback on my other post. As usual, there's the Divorce Now crew on Reddit, but among those, I was actually surprised to see good suggestions. Anyway, after I made the post, I talked to my therapist. She helped me put things in perspective and made me really think on what and how I value my relationship with my wife. She made me realize that I really needed to have this conversation with my wife, but not about the cheating itself, but about how she hid it from me. Last night, I decided to speak with my wife. I waited until we were both chilling and called her to our bedroom, saying I needed to talk. She tensed up and went with me and asked me what was wrong. We both sat on our bed, and I had to hold myself together not to break down in front of her. I said I heard when she spoke to her sister about the time that she cheated when we started our relationship. Yes, when we started being exclusive. I said I was hurt a lot, but even more due to the fact that she hid it from me. I asked her why she did it and why she never told me anything. She broke down crying in front of me. She said it was true. It happened right after we became exclusive. She said that us being friends at that time, and even having a friends with benefits phase, made her fall in love with me pretty fast. At the time, she had some friends that kept encouraging her to stay away from me because she was getting too much attached and too fast, and she needed to wait and have more fun before going all in into another relationship. When I asked her to be my girlfriend, she said she really wanted to be together with me, so she said yes. But her being a naive idiot at the time, her words, she let herself get influenced by those friends. And in one of those nights out, she got drunk and ended up making out with the guy that worked with her in that lab. She said that it was just them making out and nothing sexual happened. And she swore that she exaggerated the story to her sister, but they did not have sex. She said she regretted it immediately and left the party for her home and cried all night. I said it was irrelevant if they had sex or not, it was the fact that she kept this hidden from me that hurt the most. She cried again and said that it was wrong of her. It was a stupid mistake and she just wanted to pretend that this never happened. She said she was afraid I was going to leave her for something so stupid and didn't have the courage to tell me. She swore she loved me and never felt anything for anyone else after we got together. Then she begged me to forgive her, again saying that it was a stupid mistake of a young and naive girl who had gotten out of a bad relationship and let herself be influenced by bad friends. I felt she was honest, and I mean it. I believed every word of hers, and I feel that she genuinely regrets what has happened. I said I forgive her, but I wouldn't be able to celebrate the date of our start again. So we decided to pick another date. We now celebrate our marriage anniversary and the date that we moved in together. She deflated like a balloon after we spoke. She said that it was tormenting her to keep this secret, and she blank. I don't know why OP stopped writing there, but okay. I'm not gonna lie and say this situation did not leave a mark on our relationship. It did. Things definitely shifted, but not in a we need to end kind of way. But talking to her really did me good, and I love her more than anything in my life. Even though it hurt me, I am now certain we will both be able to navigate this together. Edit. People are getting crazy over my bad English again. Apparently hookup means having sex, and I didn't know that. I meant make out. Not everyone on Reddit is from the USA. In the comments, Undoubtedly says, "Wow, she had a chance to completely come forward and still decided to change the story from what she told your sister? Look at the incentives in place. What incentive is there to make it look worse to her sister, and what incentive is there to make it look not as bad to you?" Yeah, I don't buy it at all. Why would she tell her sister the truth, but exaggerate parts of it? Also, her blaming her friend's influence is her trying to abdicate herself from responsibility. Who says, oh, my friend found a guy she really likes, he seems to really like her, they've been friends and hooking up for a while, and just became exclusive. That's bad for her. Let's get her to go to another guy. The wife is completely full of shit. Sorry, OP, but she wasn't honest then and still isn't honest now. Yeah, she is not being truthful. What advantage is there to lying to her sister? I know you don't care whether they slept together. The lying and hiding it is absolutely the more important issue here, but I would still feel like she's holding something back. You both need individual and couples therapy to adequately address this, I think. Why do we lie to the people that we claim to love and trust the most? Those are some hard-hitting questions, and I hope that OP reads all of this and forms their own opinion as to whether the wife was lying or not. Because that is definitely a plot hole that needs filling. I need to know why she lied to the sister then. What logic is there? But at the end of the day, I don't think the wife can be truthful to herself, and that means that she can't be truthful to anyone else. It's just flawed all around. Like I said before, I respect if you want to stick it out with your wife and fix things with her and work on the relationship, work on the marriage. that is up to you. That is not something that anyone else can judge you for and say, that was a mistake, what's wrong with you? It's obvious you should have divorced. Like, no, life is not black and white like that. It's not how it works. But I definitely think that you can't really ever trust her fully after this situation because she's not being truthful with you. There is a lie there. She told your sister that she slept with this man, but then backtracks and goes, oh, no, I just kissed him. I just kissed him. Oh, okay. Why would your friends tell you to go do that when you're exclusive with this guy? It doesn't make any sense. None of it makes sense. And you ate that hook, line, and sinker, OP. I question why you did that, and you're acting like everything's hunky-dory now. Please go talk to someone and get them to work through this situation with you, because it seems like there's more going on under the surface that you are happily able to just ignore and pretend like everything's okay. If that's how you want to process the situation and move on from it, completely fine. Absolutely. Let 1,000 blossoms bloom for all I care, but take the advice of the commenters if you ever have a nagging thought about her not being completely honest with you. Thank you for the story, and thank you for the update. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!